All right, Thomas, thanks for joining us. We'll go ahead and start with any questions. Brett, go ahead.
Thomas, what happened in the second half? What was different?
They got more rebounds than us in the second half. Loose balls at the end. Ones that we didn't come up with.
For the season, you guys are plus 83 in the first half and minus 15 in the second. Is there a recurring theme? Is there something that kind of is a recurring problem for second halves with you guys?
I wouldn't say that. I would say we just have to figure it out down the stretch. That's pretty much it.
Thanks.
James?
Yeah, Thomas, you guys had 13 turnovers in the first half, and I think you're only down 1. Do you feel like that was maybe a lost opportunity where if you could have taken care of the ball better, maybe played better in the first half, that would have helped you more in the second half?
Yes, I think they scored 21 points off our turnovers in the game, so they had a big thing with us. Turnovers. They scored a lot off of those.
Danny?
Yeah, Thomas, with the turnovers, did you notice anything different about how Syracuse played you guys defensively compared to the first matchup?
No, it was the same way. We was just careless with the ball tonight.
Corey?
Thomas, obviously, you haven't been shooting the ball particularly well over the last 2 games. What changed for you there in the second half? It seemed like you had a little more confidence in your shot.
I wouldn't say anything changed. As a shooter, you're gonna have your slumps. So you have to stay confident, just keep shooting.
Does that give you more confidence moving forward, even though you come away with this one with a loss?
I wouldn't say I lost confidence. So I still have all my confidence. So it's still gonna be the same.
Mike Topper?
Hey, Thomas. In the second half, you guys started chipping away there and got it close. Can you pinpoint what the difference is? It seems like as soon as you got to within 2 or 3 there, they were able to pull away. Any particular thing that you saw?
I can't remember right now, but we're gonna watch film tomorrow and then on Friday. Learn what we did wrong and figure it out at the end.
All right, do we have any other questions for Thomas? Sounds good. Thanks, Thomas. Hi, DJ. We'll go ahead and start with any questions. Mike, go ahead.
Hey, DJ. Obviously, the thing there was the turnovers. It seemed like the zone was giving you some trouble. Was there anything in particular? Was it the defense, or what did you kind of see out there as far as turning the ball over?
To be honest with you, I honestly just think we just second guessed every decision we made, and those second guesses left extra opportunities for them to get steals, and they just gave us real fits with their zone. So that's really all I can say about that.
Brett?
DJ, what specifically changed in the second half today? And then what has been a problem with second halves all season for you guys?
The best answer I could give you, honestly, we just shoot ourselves in the foot every time we come out on a loss. Either we got the lead and we shoot ourselves in the foot second half, or from the get-go they punch us in the mouth, and we always in the dogfight throughout the game, and we never seem to come out on top when it come down to those possession games and those possession key moments of the game that let them get their lead. So I honestly think it's just that.
What do you think needs to be done to change that moving forward?
We just got to play tougher. We just got to be more mentally locked in. There's nothing with our skill. We can guard, we can score, but we just had too many mental breakdowns, and it just hurts us every time.
Thanks, DJ.
James?
Yeah, DJ, I think between you, Jericho, and Manny, you had 11 combined turnovers, and you play kind of within the same area, right around the rim. Were they just really active there tonight? I mean, what do you feel like kind of led to that?
In the short corner, they were trapping, and then that right wing was dropped down to the closest guard, I guess you could say, that was next to us in the short corner. But it was somewhat hard to just make that skip court pass. So, after a while, after they kept throwing it there and there wasn't anything there, the defense started to recognize where that open man would be at, and I think that's how they got some of those steals, coming out in the second half. But I think it was just the traps, and like I said earlier, we just kept second guessing every decision, and those quick second guesses, it just led for extra seconds for them thinking and make rotations.
And just to follow up, I asked Thomas the same thing. In the first half, as a team, you had 13 turnovers, and you were only down 1 point because you shot, I think, 53% from the field. Do you feel like that was a wasted opportunity where maybe if you handled it a little better, you could have a lead and that would help you more in the second half?
Definitely. I think we could have had a lead in the first half. Like you said, we had 13 turnovers in the first half, and it was points in the game where I'm watching the game, and we'll get a key stop and come down and give them the ball right back. So, we just gotta slow down on that. And then, when they give it to Miko and Manny, we also got to do our part and not turn the ball over. So that's a big portion of how we lost too.
Corey?
DJ, obviously it came in a loss, but Thomas Allen kind of breaks out of his slump, goes 4 of 8 in this game from 3-point range at least, 17 points in this one. It seemed like he still passed up quite a few shots, though, to try to get it inside. What were you seeing from him that changed from a confidence standpoint for him in the second half?
We just kept talking to him, telling him to shoot the ball. That's what he does the most. Sometimes he can drive and create for others, but his strong suit is shooting that basketball. So when he wasn't shooting, we just kept just trying to give him his confidence, like shoot the ball. We'll try to get the rebound, or we'll get back and make a stop and try to get it back to you.
Thanks, DJ.
All right, that's it. Thanks, DJ.
All right.
Hi, Coach. We'll go ahead and start with an opening statement and then open it up to questions.
Well, first of all, I want to talk about something non-basketball on the court tonight related. I want to thank all of you guys who sent texts and prayers for Devin and his surgery. Just to give you a little follow-up, I know I released a statement about it, but everything went well. Doc felt like everything was exactly what he thought when he got in there, and we expect a full recovery from him. And so keep praying for him. It's very frustrating for him when you look at a guy who, I don't know that I've been around another guy who is as passionate about getting into the gym and working out as he is. And so continue with the prayers for him, and I appreciate all that you guys have done with that. As far as the game, obviously the game, I think, speaks for itself. What's a little frustrating is, we turned the ball over 20 times, which is really not characteristic of us. I know we've had a few issues this year of turning the ball over, but that it wasn't a good night in that area. Also, I thought two things that really, beat us tonight was we gave up 14 offensive rebounds. When you look at it, typically if you pick up a stat sheet, we typically have more shot attempts than the other teams because we force guys into turnovers, and because of our ability offensive rebounds, they got 15 more shots than we did. They got 60, we got 45 because of the turnovers and also because of the offensive rebounds. And not only turnovers are bad by themselves, but the issue with it was we turned them over for touchdowns, and they were able to score and not have to play against a set defense. I thought our effort was there. Our guys are playing hard. It was one of those games that it's going to be hard to beat a good team. I don't care where you play them at with that many turnovers and offensive rebounds. And a lot of that with the rebounds, it came in the second half. I thought in the first half, we turned it over. I think we had 13 turnovers in the first half and then 7 in the second. And so it just wasn't good enough. We got to get better in that area. We got to value the basketball. I wish I could point to one or two guys and say, man, you got to get better with ball security. But when you look at it, you see 4, 4, 3, 2, 2, 3, and 2. Just not good enough for our team. So got to get better in that area. I'll take questions.
Corey Smith.
Kevin, when we talked to DJ just a second ago, he said one of the big reasons he felt that there was a lot of the turnovers was indecisiveness compared to the first time around when you guys played Syracuse. What did you see in terms of that, in terms of the indecisiveness, not being able to get the ball either inside or hit shots when they were necessary?
I think the biggest thing is we try to hit the same play every time, and instead of mixing it up. When you look at the first game, we were good. We interior bounce pass to Manny for a dunk. We would hit the guy to sprint to the corner. We would make a skip pass. We ran it when we got the ball in areas. We try to hit the same play every time. For example, Manny catches it in the short corner in the first play of the game. He skips it and we skip it for one more. It's a good shot. But he tried the same play every time. And in the zone puts you in spots where you got to be able to make plays from the short corner in the middle. Almost in this game, you almost have to invert, because what happens is that your bigs become your point guards because of the fact that they give you, if you can get it to the middle, if you can get it to the short corner. The other big thing about it is this is where we miss having a bigger guard. When you look out there, their size is a problem, because we got two guys right around 6 foot at the guard spots right now, and that's a tough deal. And you have to have those guys on the floor, because those are the guys who can make shots. Those are the guys who can shoot the three.
And kind of a follow-up to that, your thoughts on Thomas Allen's performance tonight, 4 of 8 from 3, 17 points overall, but it seemed like he could have taken a few more shots probably if he went for them.
He played well, and we're asking, and he needed it. He needed to see the ball go in the hole. But what I told the team is I want to get a night where Thomas is playing well, Braxton's playing well, and all of our bigs are playing well. We just haven't been consistent enough. But we've got, we're starting to get one guard playing well each game. And when I say playing well, meaning being able to shoot the basketball. But we haven't had where we've had several of those guys play along with their bigs. But it was good. It was good for him. He's been struggling. I don't know if anybody, he would say that, but he hasn't been able to see the ball go in the hole, and it happened for him tonight.
Thanks, Kevin.
James.
Hey, Kevin, I asked the guys a similar question. At halftime, you were shooting 53% from the field, but you had the 13 turnovers and we're only down 1. It felt like when you got shots, you were knocking them down and they were quality looks. Did you feel like frustrated at the half that maybe you should have had a lead versus be trailing?
I felt fortunate at the half. With we were down 1 and we had committed 13 turnovers. It could have been a lot worse because of the way, we had turned the ball over. And this is, this is where you don't have an experienced senior guard who's really a point guard playing that position, and everybody has to handle the basketball. But that's not who we are. We have turned it over a little bit more this year than we've had in the past. That's because we don't have that leadership in that area. But at the end of the day, we have to have better ball security. I don't care who you're playing. When you turn it over 20 times, you guys have covered us for the last 3-4 years. That's what we do. We turn people over, and when you look at it, we lost the turnover battle, and that's not good for us, and that's not good for the way we play.
Appreciate it.
Brett.
Yeah, Kevin, you guys for the season are plus 83 in the first half and minus 15 in the second. Is there any recurring theme as to why that is? And what specifically was the problem and the difference tonight in the second half?
Brett, you're going to have to say that again. You kind of went in and out on me, so I didn't hear your question. If somebody else heard it, maybe they can give me the question.
Yeah, I said that you're plus 83 for the season in the first half, and you're minus 15 for the season in the second half. Is there any particular reason, recurring theme for that? And what specifically was the problem and the difference in the second half tonight?
So I heard the plus, and the last question I didn't hear, but I don't think it's a theme. I think once you think about this, at the end of the game, sometime when you got to make some plays and you got some younger guys out there who happen to make plays that haven't been in that situation, that could be it. I don't think that I don't have one particular thing, Brett, that I can say is the issue in that part of it. What I will say is I am glad that we're coming out playing well in the first half. What we're having to do is with this team is try to figure out how do we get consistent for 30 to 35 to 36, and then obviously add a minute or two every game where we're playing the entire game. So I didn't hear your last question, but I hope I'm answering it.
It was specifically tonight. What was the difference in the second half?
I just thought we missed shots. I think the biggest difference, if you ask me, Brett, in the second half is they got to the offensive glass. I thought we were solid. When you look at it, most of the offensive rebound, I think we got our rebound in the second half, 22 to 12. That was a big difference right there.
Thank you.
Danny?
Yeah, this is kind of a big picture question, but you guys had some success in the first game against Syracuse versus the zone, and it gave you some troubles tonight. As a coach, how do you approach preparing your team for the zone? You see Syracuse every year with them being in your conference.
Yeah, this is a weird year, Danny, for us. Honestly, we've had a lot of success in the prior 3 years. This is the first year that we've lost against the zone, and we've played well against it. This is probably the best zone. I shouldn't say probably. This is the best zone that we're going to face all year because they play it for 40 minutes and they play it year round, and that's what they are. You got to find cracks in it. And if you can find cracks in it, you can make shots, you can be successful. In our situation, this is the first time that I've never really had, you think about the past, we've always had a guy like Al Freeman, who's 6'3", or CJ Bryce, or Devin Daniels, a bigger guard to be able to see over it and also pass over it. And we just don't really have that. You have to have a guy of size that can, number one, that can see over it, but also be able to shoot against it. And we don't have that guy on our roster. The closest guy is, Sebron. He can see over it, but that's not the strength of his game by shooting threes right now.
All right, we have our last question from Justin.
Coach, you mentioned the second half rebounds, but going into this game, you guys had 3 straight games where you were able to out-rebound your opponent. You out-rebounded Syracuse in the first half. What do you think you guys got away from that allowed Syracuse to out-rebound you guys 22-12 in the second half?
Justin, they beat us to basketballs. I mean, I'm going to be able to sit up here and say all of the reasons why. I mean, they just got it. They beat us to basketball. It was one time we gave up 3 offensive rebounds, and I had my biggest lineup in the game. We had Jericho at the 3, we had DJ at the 4, and Manny at the 5. And during that segment, I think that during that little small segment, we gave up 3 offensive rebounds. They beat us to the basketball. We got to get better. We have to do. You're right. We've emphasized rebounding, and we've done a good job in the last few games of rebounding. They beat us to the basketball in the second half, and that's something that we've got to address.
Thank you.